Yes, this is still the weekend show on ABS television, and we are still here having a great time. I did mention before we went on that break that we'll be talking to someone interesting. I mean, there's looking at him, it tells me how special creation is and how that God can really take our time to create people and make them so special. We're talking about, Mr. Sam Oramali. He's with us, and as you can see, he's fairer than the whites.
Okay.
So Mr. Sam is the CEO of Samara Media Limited, and he's here today to talk about Albinism Day Celebration 2018. Wow, Mr. Sam, I welcome you again.
Thank you very much. Really, I feel honored being here. Of course, it's a great feeling.
Yeah, sure it is. I believe. Now we're talking about albinism,
yes.
And a day set aside to talk about issues regarding albinism. Can you give us an impression of this year? I mean, what's the celebration going to be like?
Well, let's start talking about, when we talk about albinism, the first thing that comes to our mind is these fair people we see on the streets, and we have different ideas about them. This year's International Day of Albinism, or International Albinism Awareness Day, June 13th, of course, the United Nations General Assembly on their 69th session in December 13, 2014, they came together and said, okay, every year, June 13, we are going to be having an awareness day for persons with albinism. And since 2015, 16, 17, and then this year, 2018, we are commemorating that day, or we're celebrating that day. And this year, we are focusing on skin cancer.
Okay.
Because skin cancer is one of the silent killers of albinos in Africa, considering the weather. And then we have an issue with global warming. I'm sure you know about that. And then it gets higher, the temperature, the higher it gets, the more heated the sun is, the more it gets to the albinos. So this year we're focusing our discussion on skin cancer and the effect of global warming on albinos.
So what's this skin cancer about? Because most of us might be hearing it for the first time. Some of us do not know that albinos have skin. What does it look like? How does it come?
Well, it comes in different ways, in various fashions. But the very physical way you see skin cancer in an albino is in form of a mole. Like it's sort of an opening in your skin. Maybe on your back, on your body, on your leg. To some people, it's more than in one place. You get. Okay, and what causes it is like you're dark in complexion. You have what causes your dark is your melanin, and then the albinos, they have little or no melanin in their skin. So when the sun comes and when the sun hits on your skin, usually your melanin protects you from the sun radiation getting into your skin, into your body. The albinos, they don't have that. So once the sun radiation comes, it penetrates into their skin. And of course, it causes some damages in the cells, of course, mutations, and then, of course, it begins to grow cancerous skin cells.
Now, that brings us to something.
Okay.
If skin cancer for albinos, affecting albinos, is an issue at this time, that means that it's possible that the issue is a grave one.
Definitely. There was this statistics that says that skin cancer is the cause of 40% of the death of albinos in sub-Saharan Africa.
Horrible.
40%, and you have to put that into perspective. If 10 albinos die, 4 out of that 10 they died of skin cancer.
Oh dear.
And that the average lifespan of albinos in Africa is below 40 years. That should put it into perspective, how grave or how big this is. And it's not something they eat or something they drink that causes it. You'll have told them, okay, you'll have told them, okay, don't eat this, don't drink this. It's something natural. So what we do is we try to educate them on ways for them to be able to curb these menace, because it's getting into the society. It's increasing as the global warming. It's getting higher, and of course these things it happens to them, and then most times they don't even know about it.
Now, what's the situation in Nigeria? I would like to bring it home. Yes, in terms of skin cancer affecting albinos, your position to know. So, can you give us an impression?
Yes, there's no official figure of how many albinos we have in Nigeria. I remember during the confab, during the national, about the time we were about to have the confab, the Albino Foundation came out and said that there are about 6 million albinos in Nigeria. Another time, there's another report that said we have about 3 to 4 million albinos in Nigeria.
Okay.
Now, the number of people who have skin cancer in Nigeria cannot be ascertained because of how our statistics are.
Yes.
You know how lackadaisical we are when it comes to things like statistics.
Data.
When it comes to data, but you get this a lot in the people we see that have skin cancer. The ones we know, we have them in general hospitals. For instance, you go to Abuja, the National Hospital of Abuja, there's a center, there's a section of the hospital dedicated to skin cancer, and then over 80% of people there are albinos.
Oh dear.
But then we don't get to know this much number because these are people in Abuja, or people who got this information and they were taken there. There are many thousands of them in villages, in towns where they have no access to such treatments. So we can really not ascertain, but you could be rest assured the number is actually on the high side.
Yes, coming to, you just mentioned one particular example which is very important. Albinos at villages. Most of them might not even consider this the way you're talking about it as a cancer. So might feel this is what they keep, that comes up with just like
Part
you
of
said,
being albino.
yes, being an albino. How does such people manage these cases?
They don't. Does it say in if you're Mara or Maria?
Yes.
If you don't know something, you don't know it, and it kills you. And then probably such person, he might have skin cancer, and then he'll be dying gradually.
Yes,
and then we might stem it another thing. Probably he might be treated. People might start treating him of another sickness, probably malaria. We're very fond of calling every sickness malaria.
Yes.
We might treat it as malaria, or we might say that he
typhoid.
contracted the disease, probably HIV.
Yes.
You get. It's lack of information, and the lack of information is the biggest issue regarding the issues concerning albinos.
You've been engaged in advocating for issues concerning albinos for years now.
Yes,
how do you wish to reach these people who might not know about some of these challenges?
All right, so I have a company, Samora Media Limited, and I'm into filmmaking and photography. But then I do part of my civic responsibility, or corporate civic responsibility, is every year, just preceding the International Albinism Awareness Day on June 13th, probably few days before, we organize what we call the public dialogue on albinism. Now, what I do is I work with the State Ministry of Information, State Ministry of Women Affairs, and State Ministry of Education. Now, I send a letter to all the schools in Anambra State. I want the teacher to come, they come with a teacher, and every albino in their schools. They come, so we have a representative from all the schools. They come to Oka, and then we lecture them on albinism, on skin cancer, on the issues concerning them, on what they should know. Now, we don't just bring albinos, we bring in their teachers, we bring in people from the general public. That is a public dialogue, because
they're part of the society.
Exactly. Most times our issue, or persons with albinism, their issues are not just themselves. If it was just themselves, they could handle their issue. But then the attitude society meets out to them is part of the issue. So we bring in people, both the albinos and the non-albinos, and we sit down and we discuss. Now, if every year we bring in an albino from a community, or 10 albinos from a community, in our own little way, we're disseminating information on how and what it should be. Okay, so that's how we intend to pass this message to people in the various villages, because of course there's always a school in every community in Anambra State. So we get representatives from communities and we pass that message. And of course we're working, there's a movie I'm working on presently, In Between Colors, and it's about the issues concerning albinism. And it's, of course, it's going to hit the cinema soon, and then people could actually look at it, watch it, and know what albinism is all about and how they could be able to take care of some of the issues concerning them.
And then to bring the event into perspective, I would like to refer to what you want to do come, what day again? When is the event? Okay, the 8th of June.
Yes.
That's in 6 days' time. It's not even up to a week
It's
from
in
now.
a week, exactly.
Yes, you want to focus on the issue, skin cancer, a silent enemy of African albinos, a silent enemy of African albinos.
Yes.
And the discourse is set to educate persons with albinism as well as family, friends and relatives of such persons on ways to reduce the risk of skin cancer among albinos.
Yes.
That means you have suggestions on how
Definitely.
this...
Definitely, because while you cannot eliminate skin cancer in its totality because of, we cannot say the sun should stop shining.
Sure.
But we can do some things to be able to reduce the number of casualties. For instance, as I was coming here, I came in with an overcoat.
Okay.
Now, if I wear a long coat covering my skin and wear a cap covering my face, and I wear a trouser, there's a huge possibility that when the sun hits me, it's not going to get on my skin as much as it would have if I was just wearing this.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and then there's also this issue of using some protection formulas like the creams, and then the using the soaps that has SPF. That's some protection formulas. When you use that, it reduces the impact of the sun on your skin. Of course, and then we encourage, we get people there. That's why we bring in relatives and friends and teachers, so that they also could help in reducing the amount of time they expose these persons with albinism under the sun.
Okay.
So part of it is what we're going to discuss on the public dialogue on albinism 2.0, and of course you're all invited to the program.
Wow, thank you so
Okay,
much.
you know, we cannot discuss albinos without talking about, just like you said, people that make up the society. Even though this year's theme is skin cancer, silent enemy of albinos.
Yes.
What other challenges do albinos face in the society?
Well, the question will have been, what other challenges don't albino face? Because it's a lot of trouble.
That means it's too much.
Okay.
It's not like it's much, but then the biggest challenge most albinos face is their sight.
Okay.
Because they lack melanin in their skin, they lack melanin in their retina, which colors their retina. It makes it difficult for them to focus on an image and focus. When I came in, I told them I'm photosensitive. It makes it difficult for people, for them to focus on an image. If they want to read something, you see instances where normally you're pressing your phone and you want to look at it like this, but then when you see most albinos, they take it very close up to their eyes because they want to focus. Now, if you are in school and your blackboard is that far, and you're like this, and you find it difficult to actually see your blackboard. Now, it makes learning difficult. You have an option, which is to go to that blackboard, get very closer to that blackboard to see what is there, and then come back to your page to write. But then it makes you stand out. And then we live in an unforgiving society where people take slight advantage of any and everything to demean you.
Okay.
So the society, aside the sites now permeates into other aspects of their living, where people call them names, people say a lot of things about them, people being people just try to take advantage of the fact that there are some aspects of their life that are not in concordance with that of other people. So that's it. But the challenges, first and foremost, is the sight. They don't see very well. The sun, as we've talked about it, makes you find out that because of the sun, they can't do just about every and anything. And then you also talk about the fact that because of that sight, a lot of them don't go to school because they wouldn't want to engage themselves in the rigors, the struggles that comes with it. So they don't go to school. And when you don't go to school, you don't come out under the sun,
Depression might set in.
Depression sets in, and you're poor because you don't go to school, you don't come out under the sun much. Where are you going to work? You're not intellectually sound for you to be able to work in your house, and then you cannot come out and do the menial manual job that other people are doing to make money. So when you find them in this situation, you find out that they are actually depressed. The lifespan is short and well.
Okay, Samuel, I want to ask this question before we go. I know you before now.
Okay.
You've engaged in this kind of program several times. You were in Children's Parliament and several other political engagements. How have you been able to build your self-esteem? Because some albinos at home will be saying, "Are you sure this person is part of us? Does it mean this person is not facing this challenge we face?"
Sure.
How have you been able to work on yourself to build your self-esteem and remain at the top at all times?
Now, there's it boils down to family.
Okay.
Now, I come from a family where, first and foremost, I was loved. Love is very important. Love could move mountains. I came in. My family, they accepted I have my limitations, just like my sisters who are also albinos. They accepted that we have our limitations. They also, at early age, they were able to build our strength. You have your strength, you have your weakness. My family was able to build my strength, which is my intellectual capability. Now, I'll be very practical now. When I came to school, I can't see very well. So, but then I'm very smart that once I look at something, I pick it, and I don't forget. So, if you are my classmate and you try as much as possible not to discriminate against me, because if you do, I'm not going to give you answer during the exam.
Oh, are you for real? Okay.
You guys.
So that was your strategy.
I had a bargaining chip, which
Okay.
is I was very smart. Now, I had to be friends with them. They had to be friends with me for them to be able to pass from school. And then, when they now got close to me, because of my intelligence, they got close to me, they were able to see that aside my sight not being too good, I had good qualities, I had better things, I had a lot of things to offer. So over time, they began to overlook the fact that physically I looked different, at least skin-wise I looked different, and then began to look at some of my better qualities. And over time, when people accept you, you could just about do anything.
But then I want to chip in. Does it mean that the average albino has to try too hard to impress, to be accepted?
The average albino have to try just a little bit more than what other people do for them to be accepted. Yes.
Okay, well, it's really been great talking to you on the show this morning, and we just have to issue this reminder. We're having the International Albinism Awareness Day celebration on the 8th of June. Yes, on
That's
the 8th
organized
of
by
June.
the Samora Media.
Yes, and the event is organized by Samora Media Limited. We've been talking with the CEO, Samuel Oramali, in the studio. So just in case you are interested, or you have an albino friend, a relative, or you even just want to know on this issue, because I think it's a joint effort. We all have to do this, and I really would like to be there. So to attend the event, all you have to do is to head to Emirs House Complex, Oka, by 11 a.m. on Friday, the 8th of June 2018. Again, 11 a.m. on Friday, 8th of June 2018 at Emirs House Complex, Oka, here in Anambra State. Thank you so much, Samuel Oramali, for joining us on the show. We can't wait for that movie, sincerely. I can't wait to see the movie.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Well, it's going to be something amazing. And funny enough, a lot of A-list Nollywood actresses and actors, they are actually very interested in the movie, and they were like, of course we want to come and shoot this movie, we want to actually be part of this particular movement. And they'll be coming to Oka, and of course they'll come to ABS, of course, and we'll sit down and we'll talk about it.
We'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Of course, by the tail end of June and early July, we'll be actually be working on that movie.
Okay, we wish you well. Keep doing what you're doing. We can't wait for this year to come to pass and next year to happen. Thank you so much for joining us. This is still the weekend show on ABS Television. In just a moment, we'll be talking about another social issue. Find out after this time.